Hello everyone, I hope you're all well considering these very stressful times at the moment. I just wanted to give you a heads up and apologise for the quality of the audio of this video. That's because I recorded this when I was under quarantine for potentially having COVID-19. Don't worry, I'm all good. I just wanted to let you know just in case you suddenly start hearing raining over the recording or ducks quacking, but I hope you really enjoy this video. So the Team Rocket video was fun, but it was a shame that I didn't beat the Elite Four. I really should keep a record of how many of these challenges I actually win and lose. As long as I stay positive, that's the main thing. So there's not a lot of Gen 5 videos, and why this is just because of the stupid XP mechanic which makes grinding take forever. But what if you remove this problem completely and not have any experience at all? Well, let's give this shit a go, shall we? I'll use an action replay code which stops my Pokemon gaining any experience at all. As always, if you like this video, please leave a like and a comment because it will help feed the YouTube algorithm gods. The rules of this challenge are as follows. I can use any Pokemon I want. I can't level up my Pokemon at all, even using rare candies. No items in battle, only held. No other glitches apart from what I've done to get this set up, and no trades. The game starts off nicely enough with Professor Juniper just walking into our hero's house and dropping off a briefcase. We meet our hero as well as our rival Cherin, and as always, there's always a thick character in these games, and it's Bianca. I get my first choice at the starter and I pick Tapeg. I'm not going to be seeing him for long. Bianca picks Snively and I give it a smack around. She seems surprised that the bedroom is absolute trashed, but what do you think was going to happen, you ninny? They're having a Pokemon battle? Cherin then shows he is Jesus by healing both our Pokemon and then battles me himself. Hang on, a second ago you just moaned at Bianca for fighting and now you're throwing around Oshawott into battle, you little hypocrite. For that dickery, I smack around his Pokemon around as well. They apologise for the damage that they've done and we all head off to go see Professor Juniper. She gives us all a Pokedex and then tells us to meet us on Route 1. First, we have to make the first step together. Ugh, cringe. Professor Juniper then shows us how to catch a Pokemon and gives us some Pokeballs. We then arrive in Accumula Town where we meet Gestus and Team Plasma for the first time. He tells us about Pokemon liberation and how we should let our Pokemon go from the Pokeballs. After the presentation, we meet a mysterious man who can hear my Pokemon talking. Well, that's some weird ass shit. He introduces himself as N and then he scolds me for having my Pokemon in a ball and wants a battle. His Purloin is 2 levels higher than mine, but he also throws it from the Pokeball. Oh, fuck off, another hypocrite. I'm not able to grind to get my levels up, but I am able to get the win. We start our main adventure to catch Pokemon to help build a team. We first catch a Prat and we're not nicknamed any of my Pokemon because I'll be going through so many during this adventure, and I finish all this by catching a Lillipup. We bump into Bianca for what will be the first of many rival battles, and she sends out Lillipup and I send out my Lillipup, and it's able to get the win. Her Snively takes me out due to the fact that I was not ready for the battle at all. I go and catch another Prat and went on to go face Bianca again. I managed to finish off Lillipup by using my first Prat to lure it, and then the second Prat finished it off with bites. She buggers off and I head off to Stratton City when I'm told to head to the trainer school to find the gym leader. What about the actual school? You know, where kids learn? Is there even one? I've never seen this in the Pokemon world, nor a real hospital. I meet with Cherin, who obviously wants a battle again in a building. He clearly hasn't learned his lesson. He sends out Oshawott and Tapeg just gets spanked straight away because of Water Gun. My first Prat does not last long and neither does my second. Lillipup does get a knockout, but his Purloin just finishes it off, and I already know I need to get new Pokemon. I go pick up a second Lillipup and just to make up the numbers. I try Cherin again, but Tapeg and Prat do absolutely nothing. Lillipup again manages to get the win, but this time it did have more health. I did get a Screech in before it fainted, and then the second Lillipup managed to get the job done. I head to the Dream Yard where I get given a Pansage, but this is all I'm going to be getting for now, but it's level 10, which is quite handy. I go fight the first gym leader where it's based on my own starter, so I end up fighting the water user, Cress. He first sends out a level 12 Lillipup, and I start using Leer to lower its defense, but it starts using Work Up so its attack is going up at the same time. Thankfully Pansage is quicker and it gets a Vine Whip to one-shot it. He sends out Panpour, but it's not going to do anything against my Grass Monkey, and he can finish off Panpour with a Vine Whip. I get the first badge and now I have 7 more to go. I get dragged into the house by Fennel and she gives me the HM Cut. She then asks me to collect Dream Mist for her machine. Go yourself, why not? Myself and Bianca meet Amuna, but then I'm met by Team Plasma who we have to smack around a bit. After winning, Gestus turns up and starts using the Shadow Clone Jutsu to scare them, but it was in fact Musharana using illusions, which on reflection is terrifying that a Pokemon can even do that. Before I do anything else, I pick up Amuna as my team definitely needs some bulk. I headed west and again meet with Cherin, who, guess what, wanted to fight. I put his Oshawott to sleep while Pansage is able to finish it off. Purloin was next in, so I switch back to the Muna and put it to sleep with Yawn. After a few hits, Pansage does finish it off. We then go save a little girl's Pokemon who's been stolen by Team Plasma. Where's good old Looker when you need him? I then went to local cave and picked up 2 Woobats and a Rogan Roller. With them in hand, we have a double battle again alongside Cherin and easily wipe out Team Plasma's Pokemon and get the little girl's Pokemon back. I went back to the cave and got another 3 Rogan Rollers because why not? We arrive in the next city where we bump into N, who is chatting absolute bubbles again, and this time he's captured more wild Pokemon to use against me in battle. His Pit-Dove is knocked out by my Woobat, his Tim-Poke is finished off by my Pansage, who gets knocked aside by a low kick by a Timber, but Roggenrola is able to get the revenge on it. N leaves us with more things to think about and says he needs the power of Reshiram to save the world. I enter the museum and get shown around to see the limited collection they have on offer, and to have a look at the books to find a secret passage to the gym leader, which... What the fuck? Where's the footage? Oh, for fuck's sake. Look, I have no idea where it is. Just take my word, I beat her and she was as hard as shit. Sorry everyone, my bad. So, what else did I miss with this lack of footage? Well, Team Plasma turned up and stole a Pokemon skull because they believe it'll bring back the legendary Pokemon. I have no idea how that shit makes sense. So I meet with Burge, who asked me to come along with him to help get the skull back. Call the fucking police. This is vigilanteism at its highest. So whilst chasing Team Plasma, I picked up 2 Sweddles, a Petal and a Venipede, and this took my team to around the mid to high teens now. Already feels so long since I had my starter, God knows where he is. I kept going up and through the tree trunks to fight Team Plasma members. Some of the battles were pretty difficult, like this level 18 Pansear, which took a few attempts to get rid of. Eventually, I fight the Grunt who has the skull, and he was a bit of a pushover, so he gives me the skull straight away, the little bitch. One of the sages comes across and tells him, "Don't worry mate, you didn't fuck up, no foul, our research was bad, it's not your fault." I give the skull back to Lenora because fuck am I carrying around that with me. We now get access to head north of Pinwheel Forest to cross the Sky Arrow Bridge, pushing the Nintendo DS to its limit. Crossing the bridge gets me to Castelia City, and I realise this new place meant new routes to get new Pokemon. I head to the desert and pick myself a Duramaka, which will be amazing for the next gym. I get a Sandeel to give me some good ground typing, but then also got a higher level Darumaka, the higher the better. It is also important that I get the highest level Pokemon I can in each area since I can't level up. Whilst walking through the city, I meet some creepy sexual predator at the dumpster, and he gives me the TM Flash, which is very ironic. But before we get to the bug gym, Burge comes out to tell me to come to the pier where we find Bianca's had her Munna stolen. We also meet Iris, who, shock horror, is as powerful as anything. We find Team Plasma, who are actually hiding in the building next door to the gym. Well played, Team Plasma. Inside, Gestus is inside, and he openly admits he thought it'd be funny putting the building next door. What a legend! What's more, he gives us the Munna back and then buggers off using his ninja skills. However, he didn't bugger off before telling us that he needs to bring Reshiram to the fold. And with that, everyone just buggers off. Oh, okay, you don't need to speak to building management or something? I enter the stickiest gym ever, as it looks like a bunch of honeybees have jizzed all over the place. With fire Pokemon in hand, getting through Burge was easy. Burge sends out Whirlpeed against Duramaka, but due to the missed attacks it falls. The second Duramaka does enough to remove Whirlpeed as well as itself. Next he sends out Dwebble, and I lose Petal and Sweddle and Pidove and Venipede very quickly. I try again, but this time my first Duramaka finishes off the Whirlpeed. I do lose it to the Dwebble, but I manage to use Petal to put it to sleep and at least save the thing. Although the sleep only lasts a turn and it is knocked out, Venipede is also knocked out quickly, which sucks. Sweddle uses String Shot to slow it down before dying. Pidove comes in and finishes it off with Air Cutter. I still have Leafani to deal with, but I manage to just use Pidove to leer until it faints. I bring out the second Duramaka and I miss the first Fire Fang. Fucking hell! Thankfully I hit the next two and knocked it out, which results in me getting my third badge, and I actually wrote the second in the script because of the lost footage. I get a phone call from Bianca who wants to battle her at Route 4. Again, where's the option I can say no to these things? Obviously I don't have a choice. She sends out her Herdia and I use my Sweddles to String Shot it to slow it down. Petal puts the dog to sleep and I start using Work Up, but it really didn't do anything. I send out the higher level Darumaka, which leads her to switch to Savine. I didn't realise why this at the time, and it seemed odd seeing it's just going to get Fire Fang to death, but this all made sense when Herdia came back in because it had Intimidate. I switch to Venipede, who is able to poison the dog before going down. I send out Pidove, who uses a quick attack to get rid of it. Munna then finishes that off, so I send in Darumaka, which is able to get a crit. Panport is easily able to remove the first Darumaka, and due to a missed headbutt, I ended up losing to her. I faced her again and was able to remove the Herdia in one. I used the Patil to get rid of the Panport. Darumaka removes the Servine and the Munna, which was a lot quicker than the attempt before. I head back up Route 4 when I now have to fight Shirin. For the fuck's sake, piss off you two. He sends out Pidove, which means I have to switch into Darumaka, which does absolutely nothing. I send my own Pidove in, but uses Leer before it dies. My second Darumaka faints in seconds, as does my Petal and Sweddle. I decide to change the team a little for the next attempt by picking up another Sandeel and also a Scraggy. My Sandeel goes against Pidove to get the Intimidate in. I then switch to Darumaka and remove the bird in one. Next is Dewott, so I get my Darumaka the hell out of there. I try to use Pidove, but it goes down in one. Sandeel does get the Intimidate off before fainting. I then use Scraggy to throw sand in its face before it also passed out. Darumaka misses the headbutt and is KO'd, but it's the second Darumaka is able to get the knockout. Pansear comes out and Darumaka is knocked out, and then fuck, I lose the next footage as well. Though I can only apologise here for my balls up. Feel free to slag me off in the comments below, and I'll give you a little kiss in reply to make up for it. I then start dicking around in the event hall and I have no intention of doing this bollocks. We then enter outside and meet Bianca's dad, who wanted to come home, and to be fair, that parent makes sense. These kids are like, 12, and they're going out into the world on their own. The gym leader, Elisa, comes out and tells the old man to fuck off and kids can do what they want. Yet that is not sensible advice, you absolute moron. I go back to the grass and pick up a whole collection of new Pokemon. I get a level 19 Solosis, a level 20 Liepard, a level 20 Solosis, a level 21 Trubbish, a level 22 Liepard, and a level 19 Minccino. With a new squad in hand, I end up meeting N, who wants to go on a Ferris wheel. Now, where have we seen this mysterious date on a ride between two men before? Now, N wants to fight, and like me, he has a new team. He sends out Sandila against my Minccino, but his Sandal wins. It then needs a fake out from my Liepard to remove it. Scrafty comes in and takes out my slick as shit cat. Trubbish is sent out, and he managed to get Swaggered, but is also taken out. My second Liepard is also screwed. Darumaka gets Swaggered, manages to finish off Scrafty, but is removed by his own Darumaka. Solosis and my Trubbish do absolutely nothing at all, and I try again and lose again. I face the Wanker again, and Minccino is able to get ready for the Sandile before losing to Scraggy. Trubbish beats Scraggy with a Sludge. Liepard does a chunk of damage against the Sigilyph before getting blown away, and Trubbish finishes it. When Liepard does come back in, Darumaka is already screwed, and the poison gets rid of the weird-ass bastard. N then gets way too close to me and tells me that he's going to beat the champion. Well, don't we all want to beat the champion? And then he buggers off as if nothing ever happened on the Ferris wheel between us. You know what happened on that wheel. Now he's gone, it's high time to remember we need to fight the electric gym leader. And I'm not looking forward to this. I remember the bullshit of this gym 10 years ago. Christ, I was 23 when this game came out. I'm so old. So to go fight against this bitch, I have a whole new team of Liepards, so here we go. Emolga is the first, and it uses Volt Switch into another Emolga, and it does so much damage. I have 6 Liepards in hand to use Fake Outs in pursuit, but they're absolutely nothing against it. I realised I need high level Pokemon, so I went and got a level 24 Trubbish, level 23 and level 24 Minccino, a level 25 Solosis, and 2 level 25 Liepards. I go back to the gym later, and what makes it hard enough is that Emolga has the static as an ability, so I can't afford to get hit with paralysis. I do manage to get to the Zeb Striker, but it has Volt Switch as well. It's so hard to get anywhere in this fight due to the consistent switching. I even had to get 2 more level 25 Liepards to add more bulk. I eventually get to the stage of just Zeb Striker on its own. I use Torment with a Liepard to stop it using Volt Switch because it's so bloody powerful. I even get Minccino to use Encore, which makes it have to use Struggle, and even better I use Q-Charm, but due to this I'm able to get its health right down. I bring in my 100th Liepard and it's able to get the win. Thank God this is over, and she gives me her godlike move Volt Switch, although I'm probably not going to use it. After this I have to fight Sharon again. First is Liepard against Liepard, and mine comes out on top. Do what then just completely wipes me out. Oh hang on, I'll bring out another one, which gets knocked out. So I send another one, which gets knocked down. I send in the 4th, which gets knocked down. Minccino does do the job and puts Pansear to sleep. Then the monkey is able to get a crit and wipe me off. Solosis finishes off the monkey, but Tranquil beats up my Solosis. It takes a few opportunities and I manage to get to a stage where Solosis can use Charm to make the Tranquil attack a pile of shit, and Liepard has to fight through the roost but manages to get the job done. Shirin moans about why he can't beat me. Well, that's because you're absolutely garbage, mate. We then meet with the Pokemon champion Aldla, who I think is goddamn underrated, by the way. He decides to ask Sharon what would he do after he becomes the league champion, and to be fair, that's a valid question. What is a person's goals after he becomes the champion? He makes us use our Liepards against 2 little kids' Herdias. After a little bit of messing around, we're able to beat the 2 little preschoolers. Alder tells Sharon to get his head out of his arse and to have a think about things. Well, he doesn't use those words exactly, but that's how I took it. Elisa gets the bridge lowered for us to go across, like it's a massive big thing. It's a bridge, click the button, done. I arrive in Driftvale City and the gym leader Clay moans about how the Team Plasma guys they had captured had got free when the bridge was lowered. How the fuck does that happen? How does a bridge lowering mean that the people you had in your custody suddenly disappear? That's just bad management and bad security. Before I go back and clean their mess up, it's time to beef up the squad and remove Team Liepard. I first get a level 29 Tranquil, a level 27 Vanillite, 2 level 27 Swadloons, and a level 29 Fungus. With these in hand, we go hunting with Team Plasma, and we find them in a huge, massive, cool storage facility. Now, how did this many get loose, including the Sage? He doesn't look like he's going to be outspeeding anyone. Klein turns up and his workmen take the Plasma Grunts away, and then he agrees to fight me. Before the battle I pick up a level 26 Timber, and I make my way to the bottom of the earth to find Clay. He sends out Kurokroc, and I send out Swadloon to slow it down and use Flash before it goes down. I had to be aware this thing has Moxie as its ability. After losing both Swadloons, I also lose Fungus pretty easily. I start using Timber to get it to attack up, but I'm finished off. I bring Herdia with me, who I can use to finish off the crop. Palpitoad comes out and I switch to Fungus, who does absolutely nothing at all. Swaddling starts setting up with accuracy and speed drops. I then switch into Timber to work up 3 times and I'm able to finish off his Toad. His final Pokemon is a mighty Excadrill, who with 1 slash finishes me off. It just became a huge battle of getting Timber to the position of fighting Excadrill with higher HP. After many attempts, I get full attack, but I'm still short of killing the little thing. Oh, come on, give me a break. Like, look at this shit, just 1 hit needed. I send in Tranquil, who can't do it, nor can the Fungus. Herdia comes in and like a good dog he finishes off the job, and that's the 5th badge now in my case. Now that the gym battle is done, of course, the rival battle against Bianca. She starts off with Herdia, so I bring in my doggy and I crunch it to death. Her Panpaw is able to squirt me to death, and in reply I use Swaddloon's Razor Leaf to rip it to shreds. Her next Pokemon is Savine, so I use Tranquil's Air Cutter to get rid of it. Her final Pokemon, Munna, has now evolved into Mushrana, which could be a right pain in the arse, although Psybeam doesn't do as much damage as I thought it was going to do, and I'm able to get a few flashes off. When 1 falls, I bring in my second one to the party to finish off the accuracy job. I eventually Razor Leaf the pink ball of shit out the way. Now piss off, Bianca. Oh, hang on, she gives me Fly. Sorry, love, you actually did me a favour. We then get to the Web of Doom, where Clay gets rid of it so I can enter the Charged Stone Cave. And as I walk in, some ninjas appear and grab me and say, come with me. I shit you not, they take me 3 steps forward and say that they brought the guy that N wanted. What the fuck? Talk about trying to hog the glory, that is arse-licking at its best. N starts chatting crap and walks off. I make my way through the cave, pushing these blue thingies along. God, I hate this place. I don't know why, I just hate it. After moving the blue thingies out the way, I meet Team Plasma, who are just standing there for the fun, it looks like. I battle through their nonsense and meet N again face to face, and once again he has a new team. So he's been catching more Pokemon and putting them in balls. You weirdo N, you meant to be releasing them. N uses Boldore, so I use Fungus, and my little mushroom does the job. Joltik is next out and he manages to remove my Fungus. Herdia is able to squash the bug, but then Ferroseed comes out, which is another problem, so I had to switch to Tranquil, who's able to get rid of it with Air Cutter. He finally uses Clink and I slap it with Timber. N moans about his Pokemon being hurt. Well, don't battle then, you gobshite. Professor Juniper has a quick discussion with N, who said, well, you may not like my opinion, but let's have a chat about it. N, the SJW, rejects this and fucks off. I then arrive in Millshruton City, where we meet another Professor Juniper, the father, and also Skylar, the gym leader. She tells me that she needs to heal a sick Pokemon. Who does she think she is? Jasmine? On the way, a new route means new Pokemon. So I managed to pick up a level 31 and 2 level 32 Zebstrikers and 2 level 31 Watchdogs. With new Pokemon in hand, we enter the Celestial Tower. This tower is relatively straightforward, and because my Pokemons are a similar level to all the random trainers who want to battle a graveyard for some reason. We reach the top and get asked to ring a bell. Why, oh why, and what does that bell fucking do? After that, Skylar buggers off. Oh come on, a phone call would have just done the job surely. We head down to the airport to where the gym is located and get to play with cannons. Now I'm no doctor, but surely being fired out of a cannon and landing on your feet would surely destroy your kneecaps, and the health and safety would be all over this in seconds. With my kneecap shattered to bits, I reach the gym leader. She starts with a Swoobat and I send my first Zebra and it nearly removes it in 1 until she cheats and uses a potion. It takes the second time of asking for me to get rid of it. Unpheasant is next and Spark removes it in 1. Her final Pokemon is Swanna, and being a dual water and flying type, it's also got in 1. This was the easiest badge of the whole run, I can assure you, and with that, the 6th badge is mine. And as we get outside, N is waiting for me and wants to speak to my Zebstriker. Supposedly, the Zebstriker knows everything about me. I've only had the thing for 5 minutes and will no doubt be soon in a box. So N, either you or my Zebra is hacking my personal information. Also, how can you speak to the Pokemon as well? You really are chatting absolute shit. I leave the city and face Sharon again. He sends out Unpheasant, which is dealt with by my Zebra. Simcia, the goofy little git, manages to remove my Zebra, but he can't remove Zebra number 2. Duat is next and Zebra number 2 sorts him out with relative ease. Finally is his Lipard, who offers me no challenge and I put it down. Sharon is still debating in his head what it means to be strong when we watch Adler jump from a stupid height again to question Sharon's motives. He is nice enough to give us the HM for Surf. I head to the Twist Mountain where we see Clay again, who's trying to catch Team Plasma members, and he just jogs off. After a bit of exploring, we do come across one that's beaten by Shirin. Finally, someone else does the work instead of me. Another member tells his mate that they found what they're looking for and to do a runner. Before we go and find out what that is, there's a gym leader to be faced and it's a slippy slidey gym. This makes me spin around as well and it absolutely does my head in. The Zebras have a flame wheel which should be handy enough in here, although they are being outdone by the opponent's levels. After a bit of back and forth to Pokemon Center, we do make it to Bryson, who looks like a weird monk, and Japanese kimono sort of guy. He first sends out Vanillish, who has acid armor to get his defense up, which is a right pain in the arse. He then uses a hyper potion to get its health up, and now with his defense up I end up losing the battle. I feel that it's time I need some more Pokemon, so I go get a Girder and 2 level 30 Bordors. This time I use Girder to bulk up and wake up Slap. Bryson uses a potion, but Girder can't do enough damage and passes out, so I just start again. I then start with Bulldor and try a Rock Slide, which does a lot of damage and makes Bryson get rid of the potion straight away, but I do miss the crucial Rock Slide and so start again. I then figure out my Zebra can start using Flash, so it can start being a pain in the arse quite early. I do lose the first Zebra, but now with the flashes in place, it allows Girder to bulk up to the max. Girder then removes it with a few slaps. Bertic is next and uses Swagger. My own monster breaks through the confusion and gets a one-hit KO. Pragonical is last and removes the Girder with a beam, but Zebra 2 comes out and starts using Flash again to cripple it before falling. And Zebra number 3 comes in and starts sparking it and gets the win. 7 done and 1 more to go. Whoop whoop. We leave to find my rivals outside, telling me how much they've changed and what their goals are. Bryson can sense this ninja stalking us and tells us to go to Dragon's Pile Tower to meet N. They make out that it's miles away when it's round the bloody corner. We meet Professor Juniper Senior and Bianca agrees to be his bodyguard and runs away from the battle. I enter the tower and I catch a level 31 Druddigon. I love this thing, I loved it as soon as it released, and I loved it so much that I caught another one at level 32. Shirin then tells us to climb over the fallen columns, which makes you think, what is exactly holding the roof up? We do a few jumpy puzzles back from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and then come face to face with loads of Plasma Grunts. We blast through the first lot and then get surrounded by 4 of them. Now I have to battle each of these one by one, but the cynic in me just thinks, why aren't they all just surrounding me and giving me a kicking? Like seriously, I should be in hospital now? After I beat them in a Pokemon battle, they just let me pass? Why? I go to the top and meet N, who has awoken Reshiram and believes that Reshiram is fighting for N's wishes and dreams. He then tells me to go get Zekrom and come back to face him. He then just flies off. Hang on, that doesn't have fly! N is cheating even more here. Adler arrives and tells us that Reshiram and Zekrom both want being. Imagine the stats on that thing. We need to head to the Relic Castle so we can get the Darkstone. Except Bianca. Are you coming? No? You're just gonna stand there. Bitch. Off to the Relic Castle we went, and there's not much here really apart from a fuck ton of sand. We go and where it's all infested with Team Plasma Grunts, and where there's quicksand all over the place and all the trainers are nicely placed on the spaces you need to dodge the quicksand. We finally fall through all the holes to meet with Adler, who is listening to Gestus rant about how the Darkstone isn't even here. Gestus tells us he's prepared a castle for Lord N. Surely would have spotted this shit being built, like another Death Star situation. After the conversation, Adler says he needs to go back to Elite 4. Yeah, get your arse there, matey. We then get a phone call from Professor Juniper, who's doing weird things with her hand. What are you doing? And then bollocks me to get back to the museum. You could have just said please. I arrive and then I'm given the Darkstone. When did she find that? I can't remember this bollocks happening. No one knows how to awaken Zekrom, and I'm told to go to Castelia City. Bianca clearly isn't listening to the conversation because she said all she took from that was, oh, it all sounds serious. My god! I fly straight over to the city, and what do you know, Bianca turns up and wants a fight. Ugh. She first sends out Stoutland and I send in my Zeb Striker and start flashing to bring in Girder. But then the Stoutland has bulk up, which is absolutely terrifying in itself. Thankfully Girder's managed to finish it in 1. Mushrana's next and I'm taken out by a side beam, so I use my Druddigon but it's just beaten. Bianca then cheats and uses a potion, not just once but twice. The Zebras can't do anything and the Bulldor is also smashed. I decided to go back to Relic Castle as I remember there were high level Pokemon there. I picked up a level 36 and level 37 Korokroc, and a level 36 and level 37 Crophagus. With the new crew in hand, I start using Curse to get rid of the dog, a strategy I've never used in my life. I then switch into my Croc and dig to get the Curse to finish it. Superior is here, and this thing is an absolute monster with Leaf Blade, and it eats absolutely everything. I do manage to get rid of it with a few Shadow Balls from my new Mega Ghost, but Simple's is pushed out the way and I'm wiped out. I need to get the Croc to get rid of Mushrana. This was one of the hardest battles I had during the whole game. Each of the Pokemon, even if there were only 4 of them, are monsters and have the best coverage for who I had. I tried and I tried and I tried, but I kept failing. I decided that the biggest arse here was Superior, so I needed something who could fight it. And then I remembered I had a Druddigon, who could just take the damage it was giving out and give a critical Dragon Claw in return. The next turn I was able to wipe it out, and that was the major problem gone. The Croc was able to come out and finally get in a Mushrana, who couldn't do anything to it. And even though the Croc eventually went down, my Zeb Striker removed the Water Monkey in 2. And after stressing me out, Bianca finally does one and walks off. Before we get to Castelia City, we have to cross the unnecessary long tube line bridge, which once again, the Shadow Triad appear and take credit for bringing me to Gestus. Again, if you just let me take a few more steps myself, then I would have arrived to see your master anyway, you credit-stealing bastards. Gestus basically spills the bean on the plan and says that public opinion will make people release all their Pokemon and then he'll just steal them all. This is Team Rocket if I ever saw one. We finally get to Opelucid City, where myself and Adler witness Gestus doing his best speech and fear-mongering the people by saying that their lord has got Reshiram. Iris sums up shit very well. If Pokemon weren't happy, they'd just leave. Yes, they would. We meet with Drayden and Iris, who explains the backstory of this whole situation. There was once a pair of brothers who had different ideals, and which meant that the hero's Pokemon split into Reshiram and Zekrom, and because the two of them could not see eye to eye, the two dragon Pokemon went at it and fucked things up. Drayden goes to Iris and tells her to go to the gym so she can be my opponent. Before that, I catch a level 36 and level 38 Garbodor, a level 37 Minccino, a level 36 Duosion, and a level 38 Lipard. I enter the Dragon Gym, and this is a long gym. Lots of battles, lots of button pressing, which means a lot of healing. I lost count of how many times I had to backtrack to that bloody Pokemon Center. I did eventually reach Iris at the top of the Mecha Dragon, and she doesn't really have her Dragonite, which is a bit of a shame like she does in the anime. She starts off with Fracture, which I have my Lipard. I make sure I use Taunt, and I know this thing will have Dragon Dance. My pussy manages to get rid of half its health, and I have to leave it to the bag of shit to get rid of it. Due to Dragon Tail, my own dragon gets brought out, and thanks to Rough Skin, it has a double KO. Duosin goes against Haxorus and does a large amount of damage due to Endeavour. Zebstrika starts using Flash while it was Dragon Dancing. Although it was wiped out, it did leave the door open for the bag of shit. Then Iris cheated and uses a potion to get her health back. Minccino was all I had and it wasn't enough. I tried again, this time Minccino uses Charm to the Fracture and gets smacked around with Dragon Tail to bring in my own dragon. I get a one-hit KO with Dragon Claw and then finish off my own kin and apologise to the Dragon Gods. Finally, it's Haxorus and I nearly finish it with surprising considering the level gap. I then use Zebstrika to do some flashes before allowing the bag of shit to do the rest. I've got them all the 8 badges are mine, and now Iris tells me to get my arse to Victory Road. Professor Juniper just suddenly turns up and gives me the Master Ball. Cheers for that. Would have been nice earlier, could have thrown it at the Reshiram. Well, we make our way to Victory Road, and obviously someone wants a fight. And Pheasant is first and whips my cat, but it's no match for Zebra. Samurott, the big boy, is out and it takes out the Zebra. But now I have my dragon who is able to get rid of it with a critical. His stupid Lipard is able to finish off the dragon, so I use my pile of shit to finish it. Finally, it's a Simsear, which finishes my bag of shit. Duosin uses Endeavour to take its health right down, but then Minccino is finished in one. Right, I am not having the same bollocks as I did with Bianca. So now I have the 8th gym leader done, I go and search for the powerful bastards who are really going to help me with this run. I meet an old man who told me about the legendary Pokemon who appeared during the war, but it makes me think what the hell were they doing prior to this? Either way, first up is Cobalion, and at level 42 it's a bit of a jump on what I had previously. It takes me a good few attempts, but I do eventually catch it. With Cobalion caught, it opens up the path to the remaining 2. I went and got Virizion, who wasn't really a problem. Prior getting to the catching the last of the 3, there was one more Pokemon who I could have got. I head to Route 7 where a mysterious storm begins, and we then go into the house where an old woman starts slagging off the electric genie Thunderous for wrecking her crops. I go outside and a cheeky little prick turns up to mock me and then buggers off. Well, we'll see who's laughing soon. I start going back and forth between routes until a storm happens. Thunderous turns up and yes you wanker, I've got the Master Ball so you ain't running away from me this time, and in it goes. To be fair, Thunderous is a very strong electric Pokemon, so it's a good steal. With these 3 in hand, I go face Sharon again. Haha, bring it, bitch! His Unfennit actually managed to beat the Legends due to flinches. Maybe I shouldn't have bothered. I bring in Thunderous, who is able to get a Shockwave to get rid of it. Cyber, knowing it has a type disadvantage, comes out and manages to get a win as well. I bring out Virizion, who is able to get the Giga Drain to get the win. I have to switch into Druddigon to fight the Fire Monkey, and he nearly does finish it, but I have to leave the bag of shit to get the win. Lipard is last, and even though it finished off a bag of shit, it could not finish off Virizion. Wow, I didn't think I'd be ever saying that. Virizion is a pile of shit Pokemon, I never liked the thing. Sharon uses his God powers again to heal me, and tells me to go forward and not be a tool, basically. Before we get to Elite 4, I have to open this door, bollocks. Oh, fuck this shit, just let me through. I have all the badges, for God's sake. I won't be here if I didn't, unless I live next door. Victory Road was as boring as always, and I thought it'd be a good place to pick up Pokemon, which, alas, it wasn't because they're all crap. I did, however, get the final member of the trio, Terrakion, who is a very good VGC Pokemon. I now have all I need to go face the almighty Elite 4, the creme de la creme. I saved the game, went to bed for the night. The next day, I loaded up my laptop on the train to carry on. However, I loaded the game the wrong way. I accidentally loaded a save state rather than the file from the game itself. This meant when I did try to reload the game how I normally did it, it was at a position where the save state was, and where was that? All the way to fucking Clay. I was absolutely gutted and I was about to scrap the whole thing. Then I remembered I'm HPT, goddammit, and I'm a stubborn bastard. So what did I do to rectify the situation? I used an action replay code to get me a level 100 Zekrom. Give me the legendary Pokemon now, you bitch. It's amazing how easy this game becomes when you have one of these. It's also quite funny when the whole plot is around me meeting Zekrom, and I have one. Right with me. At level 100. And for shits and giggles, I also got me a Reshiram. Look at this Tranquil, it must be pissing itself in this fight, like a mafia boss with 2 hard as fuck henchmen. It actually didn't take me that long to zoom through the game and get me back to the same point where I was, and I picked up a level 43 Busculin and level 39 Dino. So the final team I had was Virizion, Terrakion, Thundurus, Basculin, and Dino. Now before we start the Elite Four, I made sure I gave them all the best moves I had from the TMs available to me. The Elite Four was the first one where you got to actually pick the order you did them in. So first up was the ghost user Chantal, who started off with a living coughing. I sent out Dino, whose crunch didn't even do half. I sent out Basculin and managed to nearly kill it, but it didn't. Virizion had to face it with full health and fainted as well. Thundurus again had to fight it at full health and finally it got it down. Chandelure came out and wiped out the genie and won. I finally remembered that Terrakion was a rock type and rock slided it to death, but it couldn't do anything against Galurk and neither could Cobalion, so yeah, the first attempt wasn't great. I tried by getting my screens up, which really didn't do anything, but my genie once again did what it needed to, as did Terrakion. Virizion did a chunk against Galurk, leaving the fish to mop it up. Jellicent was the last Pokemon and I used Soak to transform it into water type just to get rid of the ghost typing. It also meant that Sacred Sword could now hit it. My genie came out and one Thunderbolt finished it off. 1 done and 3 to go, and I'm not gonna lie, I am not looking forward to the final battles of this game. Second is the Psychic user Caitlyn, and this will not be fun having 3 fighting types on my team. Reuniclus destroys the genie, so I send in my dragon, but it has Focus Blast to wipe it out in 1. Cobalion's Excise does absolutely nothing before falling. Terrakion's Rock Slide does get the flinch, but she recovers and wipes it out. The fish is finished by an Energy Ball before the grass thing finishes off what's left. However, Sigilyph is there and wipes it out in 1. This was a long battle, and eventually I kept trying to soak the Reuniclus, I can't pronounce that word properly, to give the genie more power to finish it, but once that was done it had to finish the Flying Ball of Death in 1, otherwise this wasn't going to work. Honestly, I lost count of how many times I failed this run. Her other Pokemon were just as lethal, and I was just failing time after time after time. I eventually realised that the genie actually had a gender, so I gave Thundurus a tract, and as Caitlyn's Pokemon were all female, this plus Thunder Wave and I have just made this a lot harder for her Pokemon to get a hit in. I nearly got rid of Gothitelle, but Thundurus fell and she healed. Thankfully though, Dino pulled his weight and managed to finish it. Mushrana was the last Pokemon and it hit Charge Beam, so its special attack was getting higher. Terrakion nearly finished it with a Rock Slide flinches before dying, and it left Cobalion needing just 1 more Exciser. I was so happy this match was done, and I really believed that this was the hardest member of the Elite Four. Third up was Grimsley, and his Dark-type Pokemons were in contrast looking quite tasty for the Legendary Trio, as they're all fighting types. I used Basculin against Scrafty to again use Soak to help with Will Smith, who knocks it out. Crocodile is next in, so I sent in Virizion, who gets a power boost and gets the win. Lipard, fucking boring Lipard, gets the kill, but can't do anything next to Cobalion, and Mega Goat just laughs at it. Finally, it's Bisharp, and the Goat just stands tall, as it's 4 times weakening to fighting types. First time, baby, first time. Marshall is the last one of the 4, and he is one of a dying breed. Gingers. Bambi starts flashing and then the fish came to soak it, and then I went back to Giga Drain and I got a crit. It managed to get 1 flash in before being KO'd. The fish managed to get it soaking, allowing Will Smith to get a critical Thunderbolt to remove it. Swark was switched into Dino as I needed the fish to come in rather than take a hit. The fish did come in and get a soak in before bringing in Rob Williams to do what it needed to do. I love you beautiful blue genies. Mind Show is last, and so I used Thunder Wave just to slow it down and use the others to get hits in. The fish goes down but gets 1 hit in, Goat gets a hit in before dying, and Rock Ball gets the final hit in, and that is the Elite Four done. And with that, I head to the shining statue in the middle to head to the champion, and down I went. I get to the base of the steps and make a really stupid walk to the top of the Hercules-S temple. However, when we arrive, we see that En has already beaten Adler, and to be honest, he's been a bit of a wanker about it. He turns to me, and then his castle comes from the ground, and to be fair, it is fucking huge. Like, how big is that thing? And then some big-ass staircases fly into the Elite Four. Like, why? Is this thing a pirate ship or something? Shrink gets to the bottom after also beating the Elite Four. Surely the army should be coming through right now. We enter the building and meet up with 6 to 7 sages who are just creepy arsehole men. Then the gym leaders turned up apart from the first 3. What the fuck are they doing? Seriously, everyone else is here, you lazy bastards. They distract the sages, so we carry on and were soon met by a member of the Shadow Triad, and they let us do what we want, which is very nice of them, so I heal up and get ready for the battle. Although on the way we get asked to go into a playroom, which is just fucking weird, like why? We then run into Guesthist again, and he again gives hints to his plan and tells me to go fight N, and implies that if I lose, no one can oppose N. Really? I'm sure Red would have something to say about that. I do meet with N, and who's acting like a right wanker. The fact is Zekrom is not with me. I don't really give a shit. If I don't have Zekrom, I'll still fight you. Reshiram turns up and shows off a few skills, but then the Dark Stone starts rumbling and releases a shit ton of energy, which turns into Zekrom. Ho ho, you're in trouble now, dickhead. I have Zekrom. Again. At a weaker level. However, before that, I have to catch it and make it my friend. After having a Dragon v Dragon, I catch the monster, and then I have to switch Zekrom into my party, and I say goodbye to the mighty Dino. Here we go, it's a battle of ideologies. First up is Reshiram versus Zekrom. I switch into Bambi and get wiped out in 1. I bring Basculin in, it finishes me with a Hyper Beam. I use Thundurus to Thunder Wave it and then get Hyper Beamed again. Zekrom comes back in to wipe in with 2 Dragon Breaths. Phoenix Seal wipes out my Rock Ball in 1. so it's up to Mega Goat to get rid of it. Klinklang has Flamethrower, which was odd for it to have. I brought in Zekrom, and when I attacked it, I realised it was Zorak, you crafty bastard. Archeops is wiped out in 1, and it was onto the real Klinklang, which managed to finish the legendary Pokemon with a Hyper Beam. We try again, and Zekrom manages to remove Reshiram. Cobalion nearly finishes off the Ice Lolly, but it's left to the Blue Genies to finish it. The Goat manages to finish off the stupid Turtle. The fucked up Bird is taken out by a mixture of Thunder Wave, RNG's help, and Thunderbolt. The real Klinklang comes out and is wiped out by the Rock Ball. His last friend Zoroark is then taken out by Jafar, and the battle is done. I have beaten N, and he can't understand how two heroes could have two different ideologies and questions that maybe both could be right. He then says it's about understanding the other's opinion to help making the best decisions going forward. Right, hang on, I will sum this all up at the end, but you, Sunshine, have rattled on the whole time that your opinion that matters, and when you have Reshiram, you will prove this. Heck, when you beat Adler, you rubbed it in his face and you didn't even listen to anyone, but when you lose, you may say, oh hang on, everyone both might be right. You absolute wanker, you are the ultimate piss take. But the game is not over. Gestas storms in and basically tells N he's an idiot and he just wanted to manipulate everyone else to release their Pokemon. Alda acts like this is a big shock. Really? It's fucking obvious. He challenges me to a one-on-one battle. Why don't we just have a 3-on-1 battle or ask Zekrom to just stand on him? Oh well, let's decide the fate of the world in a Pokemon battle then. He sends out the coffin and Zekrom is automatically first and he likes this toxic bollocks. I decided the old soak tactic was the way forward and the next turn it was gone. Bouffalant was next, so I again sent in the fish, but it was one-shotted. Terrakion couldn't finish it in 1, but the non-rock bull was nearly able to take it out with an earthquake. Rock prevailed over non-rock, and then comes the big bastard Hydreigon. This thing is a monster due to the high special attack and being armed with Focus Blast. I used the Genie to at least paralyze it before it went down. Zekrom does some damage to it, but then it is wiped out. The Goat comes in and does manage to finish it off. Seismitoad is next, and I do bring in Bambi to get the one shot. Elite Tross then gets it one shot back, and the Mega Goat gets Flamethrower, and that is that. This was one of the hardest battles in the game. I couldn't change my Pokemon, nor could I add any new moves or items, so this was it. I came to thinking that the main problem were the Coffin and Hydreigon. Hydreigon is a much better Pokemon than even the legendaries in my opinion. To even get anywhere, I had needed to switch into my fish and pray it can get a soak in. Hydreigon then needs to go down very quick due to be able to wipe out the whole team in nearly 1. This thing had Dragon Pulse, Focus Blast and a Fire Blast, oh come on. This battle took many attempts to get to the position I wanted. The fish survived and got off a soak, and because of the mighty Will Smith, it got the kill. Bishop came out and nearly got rid of the Genie, but it done its task. Zekrom was next and Fusion Bolt nearly finished it in 1 before Gestas cheated. I used a Dragon Breath to get the paralysis in, and combined with the Fusion Bolt I took it down. Bouffalant finished off the legendary Pokemon, but this left it open to Rock Ball to finish it. His dick of a dragon then did come out, and I got very lucky as it missed every Focus Blast. I couldn't believe it, and this was it. Bambi came out and got a Giga Drain, managed to finish it in 2. Elite Tross got the flash treatment until it eventually landed a hit. Rock Ball came out and gave it a critical rock slide before falling. The Mega Goat just had to get one hit off, and one Sacred Sword was all it took. Screw you, Gestas, this is done. Gestas then starts slagging off N, which leads to N becoming mopey because we've been fighting our ideals the whole time. Whilst Adler and Sharon become the police to take Gestas away, N flies off with Reshiram to go find himself, and this is where the game ends. Now, that was a bloody hard challenge, and I got used to Pokemon I have never used before, and it really shows that all Pokemon can be winners. And now to focus on the thing quickly. Basically, the whole plot is saying that everyone has different ideas and we should listen to one another and not fight each other. We should not talk and go abusing each other out on the streets. What country does this remind you of?
America, fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah! America, fuck yeah! Freedom is the only way, yeah!
And that was one of the best Pokemon challenges I've done so far. I really enjoyed it and I hope to do more of these in the future. In 3 weeks time I'll be going to Pokemon Yellow to see if I can beat the game with just Dratini. And until then, I've been HBT. Bye bye.